Hi, Cancer. Welcome to your bonus reading for November 2025. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Laura, aka Baby Curl Tarot. I'm a tarot reader, astrologer, and root worker. And I love doing monthly readings for all the zodiac signs here on YouTube, as well as some other fun content over on TikTok and Instagram. You were one of the 3 zodiac signs that engaged with my content the most this month, so that is why you get a bonus love and general reading today. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in. Please keep in mind that whatever comes up, okay? And also, if it's not resonating, if it's not feeling like it's resonating with your particular situation, leave it. It's probably a message for a different Cancer. If you're looking for specific answers on a specific situation happening in your life, I do offer personal readings, but we will talk about that more later, okay? Let's go ahead and get into your love reading first and foremost. Let's see what's going on for the Cancers in love. Spiritual team, archetype cards. What messages do you have for the Cancer collective regarding their person? What messages do you have for the Cancer collective regarding their person? All right. Let's see. We have Hermit, and it did come up in the reverse. So we're going to look at the shadow attributes, and it says withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need. Interesting. Okay, so you could be dealing with a hermit, or even vice versa. You could be the hermit, and this is how your person views you. I try and always get the energy of the person that you specifically are dealing with, but sometimes it comes out different. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, and next up we had the monk / nun. It was also in the reverse. So we're reading again shadow attributes, negative judgment of the physical world, and excess piety. Okay, so this person has what seems like kind of a weird isn't necessarily the word I want to use. I think they're very judgmental of the world around them. They probably don't like it. It's I hate to say it, but it's giving Scorpio a little bit, maybe even a little Gemini. It's a little judgmental. We love people, but we love people from afar. I'm a Scorpio myself with a Cancer rising, so I kind of know how this feels. And I've also dated a number of Scorpios that have been this way. Maybe it's not, maybe it's a different sign, but it's just generally what I was feeling. But yeah, this person just seems to be very judgmental of the world around them, almost to the point where they might be, lacking some self-awareness about how they are as a person, or they embrace who they are, even though they are maybe not necessarily the best person in the world, or not exactly a person in a position to talk about, what's wrong with everybody else. Does that make sense? Let's go ahead and get into the tarot and see what comes up for you guys. I'm not a fan when they come out in reverse, but let's just see. Maybe someone out there needs this message, right? Spiritual team, Sugar Skull Tarot. What messages do you have for the Cancer collective regarding their person? What messages do you have for the Cancer collective regarding their person? Let's see. Okay, so we have Strength in reverse. Interesting. We have the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. The High Priestess. We have Judgment in reverse, and we have the 3 of Cups. Interesting. What's at the bottom of the deck? We have the 9 of Wands. We have the 9 of Pentacles reversed. We have the 7 of Swords in reverse, 5 of Cups in reverse, and the Ace of Wands in reverse. So interesting. Right off the bat, this person does not play well with others. I can see that from the Strength card and this 3 of Pentacles in reverse. This person does not play well with others. This is the kind of person that regularly has issues with coworkers. This is someone that regularly just maybe is always changing friend groups, or just distances themselves from their friends. Okay. But I just feel like this person, yeah, I mean, having the Judgment card in reverse just really confirmed it for me. It was like this person just is so judgmental of everyone else, or just has a very skewed view of the world and everyone else. Meanwhile, everyone else is out here having a great old time. And this person's over here in the corner, or not even in the corner, like at their house watching the party on social media, and they're like, hate that. But yeah, I just feel like with the high priestess, this person like comes off as very high and mighty, which is not something I typically associate with the high priestess card, but in conjunction with these other cards, it's like this person's just very full of themselves. They think that they are better than other people because they hold themselves to a higher standard. It's like for those of you that are on like witch talk or witches of Instagram, like that community, like there are people that genuinely feel like they are stronger than everybody else because of the type of magic they practice, or they just hold themselves to a certain standard, um as a way of like differentiating themselves from the crowd and making them seem better, or their way being better, or them being stronger, their magic being stronger. It's giving that. It's giving very judgmental. It's very much like, oh, that person doesn't do things this way, and so they're like weaker or they're lesser than, blah 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 blah. This is a very antisocial person. It is giving a little Scorpio with this Judgment card, because Judgment is associated with Scorpio energy. High Priestess, I believe that is Cancer energy, and then we have Strength card, which is Leo. So you're in here, they're in here. It could be one of those signs. It doesn't have to be. um but yeah, it just gives this person like, this person just wants to be so unique and so high and mighty that like they can't even, I don't know, they can't even just enjoy like the basic things in life, like human connection, like having friends, like going out and celebrating with people. Like they just have a hard time connecting with people. And maybe that stems from them being ostracized younger in life, or that stems from them um being bullied early in life, or them genuinely maybe having some sort of like complex like narcissism, or I don't know, God complex. I mean, it could be a number of things for different people. So don't take it as like this is the answer, because there could be a bunch of different things. It could be multiple things that has impacted this person and pushed them to become the way that they are, or have this view and perspective on life. But for someone like you who potentially has good relationships, has good friendships, likes to socialize, that likes to, be involved in a community, this is going to be really difficult. This is going to be a really difficult person to be with. Just because, like when you bring them around your friends or family, they're always going to have something maybe negative or judgmental to say, or look at your friends weird, or say weird things to people that you care about, and that can be obviously problematic. But then behind the scenes, even if they aren't saying something explicitly to the people that you love and care about, they may be talking smack, or saying negative things about people behind their back to you, trying to push you to feel or think the same way that they do, which can be unhealthy. They may I don't know, influence you in a way where you start to self isolate, like isolate yourself from your friends, from your family, or start to take on their views, which is, and trust me, a lot of people say like, that would never be me, but having gone through enough relationships, and maybe that's just a me thing, but I know a lot of people do tend to take on ideologies that they are around a lot. I mean, even with friendships, it doesn't have to even be a romantic partner, but the people we spend a lot of time with, we tend to absorb and sometimes take on certain perspectives that we are around or exposed to a lot, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. Sometimes it just happens. So, again, surround yourself with people that you want to be associated with, that you would want to people to see you as, because what's that phrase I'm thinking of? You are who you surround yourself with. You know what I mean? And that goes for your romantic partners too. A lot of people say like, oh, I can have different political views, or I can have different religious views or practices than my partner. I'm like, yes, you can, but it may be extremely difficult to keep those things separate in your relationship. Ultimately, I don't think it works, but that's just a me thing. Some people think it works and they're able to do it, and that's fine. But ultimately, you tend to pick those things up and internalize them. You know what I mean? That's just been my experience, but I digress. Um, overall, I think you guys really care about this person. I think you really like this person. I think there are things that you admire about this person. However, I do feel like with this Nine of Wands, there's almost a breaking point in this relationship, a point where you're like, I can only defend you so much. Because I just don't know. I don't know if this is healthy for me. I don't know if this is healthy for my relationship dynamics outside of this romantic relationship. Ultimately, there's a decision that you're going to have to make. A lot of you guys have been putting it off, I feel, with this Ace of Wands about doing something, moving on, moving forward, or, issuing basically an ultimatum like, hey, I need you to stop saying these things, or we're going to have to really look at like your personal views, because I just don't think it aligns with who I am, with who my family is, who my friends are, so on and so forth. And maybe your friends are even saying something like, you have to say something to your partner because it's making us uncomfortable, it's ostracizing us, it's pushing us away from you, and we don't want that, kind of a thing. So I think a lot of you guys may be having trouble with like deciding potentially whether to give this relationship up or try and make it work, continue to make it work. And I think a lot of you guys are literally at your breaking point with this Nine of Wands. It's like either you give up your friends and your family or you give up this relationship. Me personally, looking back on certain relationships that I had that remind me of this one, I would give up the relationship in a heartbeat. If I could go back, I would do it sooner. But that's just my personal take. That's my personal opinion. Not every situation is the same. So, again, you need to do what feels right to you. But based off of what I'm seeing and feeling in this particular reading, I don't think this is a healthy relationship for you. That's just my opinion as a reader. Okay. If you are looking for, again, more answers, or I didn't give you quite the answer you're looking for, every situation is unique for every Cancer, so not every answer is going to fit your specific personal situation. If you want a personal one-on-one reading, I do offer those. Please DM me either on TikTok or Instagram, those two platforms only, and only use the handles in the description box below. Okay, I promise you, I am a real person. We can do this. I've done readings for people before. I still do them for people. I've done plenty of workings for people in general. But if you're looking for specific answers to your situation, please contact me so we can get you that clarity that you need if you feel like you didn't get it from this general reading. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close out the reading with some oracle cards just to see what other potential messages come up, and then we'll move on to your general reading. Spiritual team, Hidden Truth Oracle, what additional messages do you have for the Cancer Collective regarding their person? What additional messages do you have for the Cancer Collective regarding their person? Let's see. Ooh, okay, it says, I wish I had treated you better. Interesting. Yeah, I don't feel like this person treats you very well either. And that's why, like, I think being judgmental, like, in this particular person, like, they may be really hard on you. They may talk to you some kind of way. They may, like, make you feel bad about yourself for doing things or saying certain things or believing certain things. This person could be verbally abusive in some cases, and that's just me talking from experience from dealing with people who have been like this in the past. So yeah, I think that this person could eventually realize that at some point later in their lives, but I don't think right now is that time. It says, I know I messed up everything. Some of you guys have already separated from this person. We are in the middle of Mercury retrograde, so if this person is coming back around, I don't think this person has changed. I don't think this person is doing any better. If anything, they may be a little bit worse than where you left them the first time around. So just that's a heads up too. But I think this person understands that some of these people, if you're resonating with this, some of these people know that they messed up, or they could just be saying this too. That's another tactic. They could just be saying things to get you back. But eventually, like, they're going to show their true colors. I don't think this person has changed if this is someone you've already dumped in the past. At the bottom of the deck says, I wish I could take back my words. Yeah. Too little too late, though. Once you say something, you can't take it back, unfortunately. It is what it is. I'm gonna pull from one other deck. This is more for people who are currently in a relationship. These messages that I just pulled seems to be coming from someone that maybe you are already separated from and debating on whether you might want to get back with them. So let's get into this one. Spiritual team, Rebel deck. What messages do you have for the Cancer Collective regarding their person? What messages do you have for the Cancer Collective regarding their person? Let's see. I already see this top card. All right, so it says keep shit clean, and on the back it says gross bathrooms and dirty floors suck. And this one more so for it's more so like a metaphor for me. It's like, hey, like let's keep this clean. Let's keep this, egos aside. Let's keep this relationship dynamic clean. Let's put things to the side. Let's, also be self-aware about, what our bathrooms are looking like. Like you have no room to speak about my bathroom if your bathroom also looks like crap. So we can clean up our side of the fence before we go talking about other people's side of the fence, okay? Next we have you think you got them all figured out. What's at the back? It says you don't. You think you have them all figured out. You don't. You think this person is maybe better than you you want them to be better, but unfortunately I don't think they are. They might be worse. They might be way worse than you think. And this goes for the other person too, is they may think they have everything figured out. They don't. They think they're so high and mighty, they don't have shit figured out. It's a very skewed perspective, if I'm being honest. Finally, at the bottom of the deck, it says, don't let it all hang out. At the back, it says, leave some shit to the imagination. Interesting. This is for those of you where you feel like you maybe want to tell this person about themselves. I would maybe hold on to that. I don't know if this person could even handle it, nor do I think in some cases they will even care to hear it. Honestly, they might turn around and throw it back at you. So sometimes you got to protect your energy. You know what? You really do. When they go low, we go high sometimes, and when they go low, we go lower. This is not the lower situation. This is a when they get low, we go high kind of a thing. We're like, okay, well, you know what? I just don't think this is for me anymore. Or I don't think I can live with someone like this. Or I don't think that I can align myself with these types of perspectives. So I'm going to let you go. And then if they want to keep arguing, let them argue with themselves. Don't go back and forth. Don't feed into the BS. Just let them argue with themselves. Let them scream into the void. All right, Cancers. Woof. I'm so sorry. But you know what? Someone out there needed that message. So I'm happy that I was able to share it and hopefully give a little bit of clarity to this. I'm going to go ahead and reset my table and get ready for your general reading. I'll see you there. All right, Cancer, let's get into your general reading. Spiritual team, Citadel Fantasy Oracle. What messages do you have for the Cancer Collective at this time? What messages do you have for the Cancer Collective at this time? Messages do you have for the Cancer Collective at this time? Let's see. All right, first card, we have the Enchanter. Deception and trickery. Okay, so could be you, could be somebody else. What do we have at the bottom of the deck? We have the Sailor, and that came up in the reverse. New influences and wanderlust. Okay, interesting. I'm not really picking up on anything in particular other than like maybe feeling a little lost at sea, so to speak, metaphorically speaking. Some of you guys might be feeling a little lost. You may feel like you're wandering a little bit in life, or like you're just not really sure about like where your next chapter is going, what you even want your next chapter to be. Some of you guys might just be feeling like, we'll see. But with the Enchanter, I do feel like there is some sort of like maybe even self-deception, but being in the upright, I might even say just being like a little delulu in the best way and being like, you know what, I'm just going to explore. I'm not going to worry too much about I'm not going to really worry too much about like the intention behind my moving forward or what I want to do. I'm just going to kind of let it come to me in whatever way I kind of am feeling in the moment. I'm not sure if I explained that correctly. Hopefully, you understood. But I'm just picturing someone like, I want to go work for Google and I'm going to charm my way into a job at Google. Like, I may not have all the experience, but I can talk my ass off. that's kind of the that's kind of the idea that just popped into my head, and maybe not something like Google, but like I don't know what I want to do with my life right now, so I just want to get a job that pays my bills, and I'm going to sell this dream to this employer and be like, I will do whatever you want me to do because I love making coffee. It's my, dream to be the number one barista in the world. Something like that. So almost like a glamour magic kind of a thing, like you're attracting opportunities, but we're not really sure where these opportunities are taking us right now. That's the idea I'm getting here. Let's get into the tarot and see what comes up. Spiritual team, Sugar Soul Tarot, what messages do you have for the Cancer Collective at this time? What messages do you have for the Cancer Collective at this time? Let's see. Alrighty. What do we have? All right, we have the Five of Wands in reverse. Okay, we got the Two of Pentacles, Four of Cups, okay, Ten of Swords, and the Hierophant. Okay, what's at the bottom of the deck? We have the Hanged Man, the Seven of Pentacles, the Star, the Two of Cups, and the Nine of Swords in reverse. Yeah, it's giving stress-free, worry-free wandering. I don't know where I'm going. I'm not even fighting the current. I'm existing. And I'm figuring out what I don't want. I'm figuring out what I don't want. Just be really careful about like don't be afraid to take something on that maybe doesn't make sense in the moment, even though it's not necessarily everything that you want. It may bring you skills, it may bring you connections, it may bring you other things than the pay that you want, or the salary, the title, the fame, whatever. It may not give you everything you want in the beginning, but it could have some really good opportunities that can lead up to the bigger goal. Okay, so just be careful about that. But what I am getting, especially with the Five of Wands reverse, the Two of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords in reverse, it's just like someone's just kind of like, I don't know. 6-7. Nobody knows what it means, and neither do I. And you know what? That's fine. We're gonna keep rolling with it. 6-7. It just feels like someone is kind of like wandering. It feels like someone isn't really consciously choosing, right? The Two of Pentacles, I feel like can be like juggling, it can be trying to find balance, it can be a number of things. And I feel like for a lot of you, two things are true at the same time with this Two of Pentacles. So on the one hand, you're like, well, I need to make money to pay the bills. On the other hand, I want to be creative and be paid to exist. And so I think some of you guys are trying to find the balance between those two. Hence why I said 6-7. Like, some of you guys are trying to find a way to combine two things or two existing parts of yourself about who you are, what you want to do, and where you want to go. I feel like you're trying to combine that. Hence this enchanter. It's like you're trying to create the life you want from scratch out of nothing. And you're also trying to at the same time enchant the world to see your potential in actually making that a reality. It's really interesting, very abstract concept. I hope you're following me and I hope I'm explaining it well. But generally speaking, I just feel like Hakuna Matata. No worries. Like stress free. Cancers are stress free. I don't know if this came up in one of your more recent readings where I think I told you guys to like stop fighting the current so much and just let the river take you where it needs to go. I feel like you guys are finally letting go and letting the river just taking you wherever. And you're just kind of like figuring stuff out as you're going along. You're like, oh, I like that. I want to do that. I want to try that. Let me stop at this port. Let me stop at this island. Let me stop at this coast. Let me see what the world has to offer me so I can figure out what it is that I actually want, or more or less what I don't want, really, with this Four of Cups. Do I feel like there's a little bit of room for burnout? There's a little bit of room for, like, I don't know, not really. It's like you're going at this stress free, but ultimately, the Ten of Swords, I do feel like could be the result also of maybe um either trying to do too much or not finding the path that you want sooner. Does that make sense? So, like, because it came up right next to the Four of Cups, it feels like a lot of you guys could crash and burn by not making a decision. So, some of you guys might fall into like a pattern of regret or a pattern of um, just continuously feeling lost. So even though you may not necessarily be stressed about finding a job, you may be exhausted or burnt out or hitting rock bottom in terms of like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the point of all of this is. I don't know. And I just don't know. I don't have any answers right now. And I think that can be very frustrating in and of itself. Okay. What else do we have here? I do feel like you guys are really just taking, yeah, I mean, the Hanged Man is really just kind of sitting back and trying to figure out, like, I have all of this experience, I have all of this knowledge, I have done so many things in my life, but what is it all really leading up to? Like, what has all this hard work really done for me? Like, is it pushing me towards this goal of what I really want to do? I want to retire at 40. I want to make $1 million, but everything I've done up until this point hasn't really gotten me closer to this. So, what is it actually that I'm looking for? Is it fulfillment in the things that I do, or is it fulfillment through the end goal, the money? Do I find more fulfillment in being a millionaire and just having money? It doesn't matter what I do, or do I find more fulfillment in doing something that matters to me, that where I feel like I have a purpose? Is almost kind of what I'm figuring out this Two of Cups. It's like I want maybe both. Why can't I make $1 million doing something that I love? And I feel like a lot of you guys are trying to figure out how to make this happen, how to make this a reality, this concept, this idea, this marriage between the two things real. Okay. So what I do like to see with this Nine of Swords in reverse that I'm feeling is like you guys are also taking the stress and the pressure off of yourselves for making this happen, because you know that you're trying to do something unique, you're trying to do something different. um and so that takes time. You know what I mean? It's easy to go and find a 9 to 5. It's easy to go and work at a coffee shop. It's easy to get hired by somebody else. It's harder to carve your own path, your own way. And I think right now that's what you are working on and trying to figure out. So, Cancers, what I will say is like, do what you do what you need to do to survive. I will always tell my followers that, do what you need to do to survive, and then just keep the dream alive. Keep finding ways to make that dream happen, or at least push you closer to that reality, closer to that dream life that you want to create for yourself. All right. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and close out this reading with a couple of oracle decks. Again, please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed these readings, if you feel like they're resonating. Just helps obviously push my content more to other people and lets me know that I'm doing a good job or I'm reaching my target audience. Let's go ahead and close out this reading for you guys, though. All right, spiritual team, Green Witch Oracle, what final messages do you have for the Cancer Collective? What final messages do you have for the Cancer Collective? Final messages do you have for the Cancer Collective? Let's see. What do we have? Victory. I like that. So this tells me, honestly, like, even if it's not a victory in terms of achieving the bigger goal tomorrow. Maybe you're achieving a smaller goal towards that bigger goal sometime soon. So maybe there is a job opportunity or a learning opportunity or a teaching opportunity that aligns with where it is that you're trying to go. And it's just that first step in the long staircase towards that ultimate goal that you're trying to achieve. So there could be some small victory or even a bigger victory for some of you guys coming soon. I love to see that. Next, we have continuance. Keep going. Okay, not being afraid to continue looking, um, not stopping at the first sign of, challenges or obstacles, and just continuing to pursue what it is that you know you can have or create for yourself. All right. And finally, at the bottom of the deck, we have vitality. Keeping yourself healthy is going to be so important. I think you guys already have this excitement or drive to make this a reality. It's going to be really important with this 10 of Swords to stay balanced, to not let yourselves get burnt out or, overworked in trying to make this happen. And also, using your energy wisely. That's the key, I think, is using your energy wisely, putting it towards the things that matter, towards that bigger goal. All right, let's go ahead and close it out with one final oracle deck. Spiritual team, tea leaf, fortune cards. What final messages do you have for the Cancer Collective? What final messages do you have for the Cancer Collective? Oops, I had one flip over. Okay, let's go to the other half of the deck. Spiritual team, tea leaf, fortune cards. What final messages do you have for the Cancer Collective? What final messages do you have for the Cancer Collective? All right, we got a couple of cards. Let's see what they are. So the first one that flipped over says Unicorn. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. I love that. Yes. Absolutely. And I already get the sense that you guys are already doing that. You guys are making the change. You're not really committing too hard to one direction or another. You're letting kind of the river of life or the universe take you where it is that you need to go in order to achieve the larger goal. You may know that you may feel like there are some detours here and there, or it may seem like detours to other people, but in the long run, I think being intentional about even what seems like a detour can put you in a better position to move forward. Okay. Next, we have the barking dog, advice from a friend. Okay, so you might have some advice coming in from someone that you care about or cares about you. Yeah, that could be actually really, really helpful or even motivational for you guys. So I love to see that. And finally, we have the rooster, an arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. Interesting. Okay. I feel like this goes back to the love reading. But there could also be somebody that you come across in this journey that yeah, has an interesting way about them that maybe you want to observe from afar and not get involved. Just observe it and be like, interesting. I'm going to keep myself at a distance from that. All right, Cancers, that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Again, please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the reading. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future, and maybe share this with another Cancer if you feel like it would resonate for them. Like I said, I do have handles on TikTok and Instagram. I do different content over there. If you want to give me a follow, my handles are in the description box. Those are also the only places you can reach out to me if you want to schedule a personal reading with me. Until I have my website set up, please only DM me on those handles below. As always, though, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. Please take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you guys at the next reading. Bye.